Hey guys, welcome to today's webinar. Today we're going to be discussing how to cut IT infrastructure deployment time by 40%. To help us do that, we have Samir from Rahi Systems with us. Samir is an account executive for Rahi, specializing in hardware, software, and services that help organizations evolve from a static data center to a dynamic, well-instrumented, and efficient managed environment. With that being said, I'll pass it over to you, Samir.
Thank you, Matt. Hello to everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Samir Sakeda, account executive with Rahi Systems, and I'm excited to spend the next 20 to 30 minutes with all of you today. All right, here's the agenda for today. We'll be addressing the following topics, which include industry trends, explain why we're here today, industry challenges, Flex IT, and a solutions overview. And lastly, towards the end, I'd like to set aside some time to answer any questions that the audience may have. In today's fast-paced, highly competitive business environment, many organizations are requiring rapid rollouts of IT services to meet both their customer and internal demands. However, IT teams globally are facing physical infrastructure constraints that impede their ability to respond to this new dynamic. But before we dive right in, I'd like to share more about a key driver behind this accelerated growth that we've seen over the past few years. Rapid growth in today's world is really driven by data. Here are some fascinating statistics that I found to tell more about this story. 90% of the world's data was just created over the last 2 to 3 years, and by 2020, almost 2 megabytes of data will be created every second for every person on Earth. Also, by 2020, IoT will be comprised of over 30 billion connected devices. That's about 6 to 7 times the population of the entire world. So, the advances we've made in technology and the rate that users are adapting or adopting these technologies is really driving this industry to grow so rapidly. So to me, this is pretty astounding. And to be honest, it's not very easy for me to wrap my mind around it without taking a step back and really thinking about what this really means. But I hope these stats give you a better perspective into how much data is being generated by technology and its users today, and as a result, requiring companies to form a strategy to keep up with the pace. So why are we here today? Aside from the cool giveaway that we'll be raffling at the end of the webinar, we'll be discussing solutions that allow companies to reduce the time it takes to deploy their IT infrastructure, which in turn results in a faster go-to-market strategy, cost savings, and improved resource allocation. What I hope you'll learn more about today includes more about solutions that are customizable, pre-engineered, integrated, and require minimal setup time and resources. Some of the challenges that we will aim to address with the solutions discussed in this webinar include challenges that IT teams face when deploying IT infrastructure in environments where cooling and space may not be optimal, deploying infrastructure in remote or global sites where your company may not have an established presence, or where simply there are just limited resources and an IT staff available. Here's a challenge. So in this diagram, this is a representation of what companies face when planning for a data center IT infrastructure deployment. On the left side, you have the facilities team or workplace real estate folks that are building out an office space, an IT closet, or a data center. Their concerns revolve more around things such as cooling regulations, space and design elements, and power compliance. On the right side, you have the IT team that is working with stringent deadlines to get their compute, storage, and networking spun up. As you can imagine, this entire process involves many stakeholders and can take a very, very long time to complete. With Flex IT, what we're really focusing on is closing the gap by reducing the time it takes the facilities team to deploy while at the same time meeting the demands of the IT team. We see Flex IT as a hybrid facility/IT solution that can be readily deployed in a fraction of the time that it would normally take in the traditional data center planning process. So what is Flex IT? By now, you may be wondering, what the heck is Flex IT? Well, Flex IT is short for Flexible Information Technology. Here at Rahi Systems, in partnership with NConneX, we've recognized the challenges that IT teams around the world face every day. As a result, we've developed a suite of IT infrastructure solutions to address these challenges head on. Flex IT is a unique line of products and solutions that are pre-engineered and ready to install. These products help organizations create a dust-free, space-optimized IT environment virtually anywhere. These are flexible enough to meet your precise requirements, and all of our Flex IT systems include cooling, backup power, power management, fire protection, physical security, noise reduction, amongst many other features. So what are the specific solutions included within Flex IT? To start off, this would include the modular data center, which consists of configurations of 20, 40, up to 60 racks in a pod configuration. Next would be the Flex IT pod, which integrates in-row cooling and is pre-configured with 6 rack enclosures within a containment system. Third would be the mini data center designed for 2, 4, 6, up to 8 rack deployments. This solution also integrates in-row cooling as well as backup power and a containment system, and has some key differences from the previous two mentioned, which we'll learn more about as we move on in this webinar. And last but not least, the final Flex IT solution we'll be discussing today is the Flex IT Office in the Box, also known as the OIB rack. All of these solutions fulfill regulatory compliances. They require minimal resources and are geared towards providing rapid deployments. As mentioned on this particular slide, these solutions can be delivered and deployed within a couple of weeks, and in some cases earlier, depending on the size of the project, location, and scope. So the modular data center, let's get right into these solutions. So up first is the modular data center. This is a turnkey solution, and as you can see depicted in the image on this slide, you can see that it is built around our containment design, including a set of racks arranged in a pod configuration, which allow for simple and easy deployment as well as expansion. The modular data center is really designed to be deployed in an existing data center white space, such as a co-location environment where power has been terminated up to the busway, and cooling solutions have been implemented, such as a crack or CRAW units, blowing air from either underneath the raised floor or from up above. This solution can be configured to include up to 60 racks, as previously mentioned, and can be deployed in either a hot or cold aisle of containment to increase efficiency, and can be customized to support various dimensions of rack enclosures to accommodate anything from network closets, server racks, and storage blocks. In addition, this solution comes pre-integrated with cable management for copper and fiber to support 10 gig, 40 gig, and 100 gig architectures. This includes pre-terminated cables to match the exact requirements, which can eliminate the need to install overhead cable infrastructure, reduce the time as well as of deployment, and it essentially result in savings and time and labor costs. Lastly, I'd like to mention that this also includes security features that can be configured to meet individual customers' requirements, from the pod level to the individual enclosure down to the IT assets within the racks. Up next is the Flex IT pod, which incorporates an in-row cooler, aka the IRC, an aisle containment system, and 6 rack enclosures in one fully enclosed self-contained unit. The IRC features a unique 900 millimeter chilled water cooler with a capacity to cool up to 100 kW of IT load and run more efficiently than the traditional crack units that are typically found within a data center environment. The IRC has integrated machine learning capabilities that allow it to calibrate its cooling capacity based on the IT workload at any given time, and can be configured in an N+1 configuration for fault tolerance, essentially redundancy. Ultimately, the IRC is designed to meet energy efficiency standards that are ideal in a high density environment and provide cost savings since there is no longer a need for a dedicated chilling plant, and therefore reduce those upfront construction costs. The Flex IT pod does carry over some similar characteristics as the modular data center previously mentioned on the previous slide, in regards to the customization capabilities, cable management that's pre-integrated, and security options that are included. I would say the ideal applications for the solutions will also include white space data center environments, but also remote branch and small office locations. The third solution that we'll review is the mini data center. This solution is different from the previous solutions mentioned, as it is meant for non-traditional data center environments and is a great fit for computer rooms and medium-sized MDF or IDF closets. The mini data center offers built-in cooling, fire suppression, containment, UPS, power distribution, and monitoring. As you can see in the image on this slide, the design consists of a 300 millimeter wide in-row cooler placed in the middle of 4 either 42 or 45U racks. This unique design allows for 100% usable space by placing the UPS in the base of the frame, and therefore not consuming any use space within the racks. And then this design also allows for easy expansion as the business requirements may evolve. The sealed glass doors that you see on the mini data center help keep the conditioned air contained and the environment dust-free within the enclosure. As a result, the solution is very modular. It can be easily shipped, transported, and deployed to fit into any environment with space constraints such as like high-rise buildings. Consequently, this will allow to speed up the construction process and not require a purpose-built space where maybe permits or other requirements may be mandatory. An important note to add also is that the unit simply taps into existing power infrastructure and requires zero overhead infrastructure for any type of cable management, as it's all integrated within. So with this solution, clients can expect an incredible cost savings and 100% ROI within 12 months of deployment. The final solution that we will review today is my personal favorite, the Office in the Box, aka the Flex IT OIB. Clients really like this solution because it incorporates every pillar of Flex IT in a single rack enclosure, and it's designed to be deployed in either traditional or non-traditional environments wherever IT infrastructure is needed. The solution incorporates it's got built-in cooling, power, soundproofing, UPS to support up to 5 kW of computing, networking, or storage. There's no external connections needed outside of power and networking, meaning there's no water, there's no chilled water source needed for the self-contained RCU, and the solution can be pre-integrated and be ready to deploy within minutes once on site. The lithium-ion UPS included within the OIB rack can support up to 6 kVA within a very small form factor. Only 2U is consumed by the UPS. So not only does this UPS provide a small footprint, but also being that it's lithium-ion, it requires little to no maintenance and has an extended life of up to 7 to 10 years. In addition, the OIB is compatible with existing security solutions, including lock and key, badge, or biometric securities per customer requirements. So due to the highly efficient space optimized design, the OIB rack has proven to be an excellent solution for remote or branch offices, medical facilities, retail stores, clean room environments, schools, defense and military facilities. So in conclusion, I'd like to briefly recap the items that we covered today. So at the beginning, we highlighted some industry trends and the importance of having a quick go-to-market strategy and rapid deployments. As we learned in this webinar, this translates into operational efficiencies, cost savings, and improved resource allocation. Keeping up with the extremely fast-paced and fast-changing business environments can be very challenging for many organizations, as they have to be quick to adapt and work with limited resources. However, these challenges can be mitigated by implementing the solutions discussed today that include the modular data center, Flex IT pod, mini data center, and Flex IT OIB. Modular prefabricated data centers are increasingly becoming more popular, offering businesses and technology benefits to not only service providers, enterprises, and co-location customers. So I'd like to thank everyone for sharing their time with me today to join this webinar, and I will go ahead and pass it over to Matt to open up the Q&A session.
Okay guys, so it looks like we do have some questions in the chat box, so I'll ask a couple of those now. For the first question, what verticals has Flex IT seen the most success?
Yeah, this is a great question. We've seen success with Flex IT across many different verticals, since these solutions can essentially be customized for almost every environment. I'd say the Flex IT modular data center solution has been used by many of our clients as they migrate into either co-locations or begin to build out their own data centers. Based on feedback we've received, I believe this is due to the ease and speed of deployment that they experience when opting to go with a Flex IT solution. In addition, the Flex IT OIB rack has proven to be a great solution for companies with remote offices or edge site deployments, as it can be used as an all-in-one solution and transported pre-integrated. This is the great thing about Flex IT, that these solutions can be pre-configured to fit into any environment. Schools, offices, banks, startups, anyone looking for an on-prem solution, I think would find great value in a solution such as the OIB rack or our other Flex IT products.
Great. So question 2, what is the standard lead time for these products?
Yeah, lead times, can range anywhere from a couple days to 2 to 4 weeks, as these products are stocked at various Rahi warehouses globally, which are located in key data center markets. But ultimately, it would depend on the project, location, and size of the deployment.
Alrighty, and for the third one, what are the RPDU options available for the Flex IT OIB rack?
The Flex IT OIB rack comes pre-configured with existing vertical smart PDUs, but it can also be equipped with universal vertical PDU mounts to support, any manufacturer of PDUs. In the event that customer maybe has a preference or there's a certain requirement based on the location. But in addition, depending on the customer's rack elevation configuration, they can opt to go with either a horizontal rack mountable PDU as an alternative. However, I'd say most clients will opt with vertical rack PDUs to preserve RU space and maximize the density within the rack.
Alrighty, and for the third one, what are the RPDU options available for the Flex IT OIB rack?
Yeah, this is an excellent question. It's actually a question that I hear pretty often, I imagine because, the competing products out there similar to the RCU produce about half of the cooling capacity that this unit does. And the reason why this unit is able to provide up to 5 kW of cooling is because it's self-contained, meaning that the heat produced by the RCU is dissipated and actually does not contribute to the heat load within the rack, therefore maximizing its cooling capacity and allowing users to increase the rack density.
Alright guys, it looks like we are coming to the end of the webinar today. First of all, a big thanks to our very own Samir. I think we can all agree that was great. And for those that did not get their questions answered within the webinar hour, we will reach out to you individually as soon as possible and get those answered for you. Thank you very much all for coming, and if you want any more information and to stay up to date, you can visit www.rahisystems.com as well as our YouTube channel and click under the link Webinar Playlists. Look forward to seeing you all next month. Cheers.